Good morning. Welcome back into Wake Up America. I'm Rob Finnerty. Happy Tuesday to you. I want to welcome back in our panel this morning. We've got our White House correspondent, Emerald Robinson in Washington, former Lieutenant Governor of New York, Betsy McCoy, the host of Stacy on the Right, Stacy Washington, and constitutional attorney Amir Benno back with us this morning. Emerald, I'd like to start with you. I want to play you a soundbite from Jen Psaki. Somebody was asking about whether or not President Biden is going to hold a solo press conference. We're almost 35 days into his time in office. We have yet to see that. Take a listen, and then we'll get some reaction.
He will hold a solo press conference, but I don't have a date for you at this point in time.
This week?
Not this week, no. Go ahead.
Will he get to pick the inquisitors himself?
What'd you say?
Will he get to pick the inquisitors himself?
Well, typically any president has a list of people that they're going to call upon, but usually it's a large number of people who are in the press room, and we certainly hope we'll be able to do that in a COVID-safe way.
All right, Emerald, you spend your days in that press room there. We looked into it. This would be the longest a president has gone since Kennedy without holding a solo press conference during his first term.
Well, not only that, he isn't even taking questions very often during the press availabilities and when the pool goes into the Oval Office or to other events. And this is just such a 180 from the past administration where former President Trump drove the news cycle in that he was constantly available to the press. Look, my sense from being there within the walls is that President Biden's extremely insulated. So I imagine that if he does a solo press conference, it's going to be very tightly controlled. And I thought that was a good question when somebody asked if he would pick who asked the questions. My guess is that he won't, that there will be a pretty solid list going in. And, you know, the White House has already come under fire for asking reporters what they would ask. I think there could be some of that would happen too.
I think it's interesting to see Democrats asking Democrats questions. I thought the question was fair. I thought it was a good question. Betsy, do you think this is going to be when the president does finally decide to hold a solo press conference? When we say solo, we mean he just goes out there and takes questions from the assembled reporters. This is obviously going to be a staged, managed, very carefully crafted event when and if it does happen.
I should think that will be the case. It may be that he has his number two, Vice President Kamala Harris, with him, and she will field questions. It appears that the staff believes that President Biden is not up to it.
Amir, your thoughts?
I think Betsy's right on that. I think that's consistent with how they treated him during the campaign, where they pretty much put him in a basement and tried to really limit what he had to say, when he had to say it, how much he was speaking off the cuff. I mean, you know, it's interesting. There's a video that came out of Joe Biden on David Letterman back from 2007 when he was talking about this incident. And this might just be his own embellishment, which he's wont to do, where he, as a kid, went into the Senate chamber, much in the way that we heard about these insurrectionists on January 6th, and sat at the President Pro Tem's chair. And just sort of the vim and the vibrancy and the manner in which he spoke in that video back 14 years ago, compared to who he is now. And it's a world of difference. And people in the Twitter sphere were talking about just how very different he is today from how he appeared in that video.
Well, I know. Emerald, go ahead. I feel like an anthropologist watching old videos, dissecting them.
Normally we wouldn't have just a single press conference, you know, from the president. You do have those, but there's also usually the opportunities to have joint press conferences with heads of state that would have likely happened by now already. But you have Jen Psaki saying that he's probably not going to entertain a foreign leader at the White House for another couple months, citing COVID concerns, but there's pretty rigorous testing at the White House, and you know these foreign leaders are also protecting themselves and adhering to certain COVID-related restrictions. So
yeah, the
we
restrictions
don't have that.
I mean, yeah, Chris Christie got it, Rudy Giuliani got it, President Trump got it, and they're all doing just fine. Stacy, a big win for conservative America yesterday. This was nice to see. Brendan Carr, FCC commissioner, talking about the left trying to censor networks like Newsmax and other conservative outlets. Take a listen.
What we're seeing here is a movement that started at least in 2016, where Democrats were trying to bully internet providers, websites, Twitter, Facebook, into shutting down conservative speech. They believed that they had some success with that endeavor, and now they're trying to extend their gains, in their view, and shut down conservative outlets from cable news as well. I think this is a chilling transgression of free speech values, and one that we should all speak out on.
Put out this, Stacy, this press release where he said more speech is better than less. We need more robust conversation. And that was, I saw that yesterday, and I just, you kind of breathe a sigh of relief, because it's unbelievable what the left is trying to do to the other side.
Yeah, I thought that was really great of him to just basically honor not just fairness, but the fact that Americans have the right to turn their TV on and see whatever they want. And I got to tell you, Rob, there's many times where when we had cable, I would turn the TV on and I was shocked and appalled by what was on the screens. And he's talking, or the Democrats are talking about limiting speech from news organizations. And so one of the best things in the world is when I'll be on here and someone will text me and say, "Oh, you're on my TV." They're talking about turning on their television, not their smartphone or their laptop, and seeing Newsmax. And that is something that needs to continue. We need more voices, not less. And the Democrats trying to stop that just proves that they don't have a winning message. They don't think they can win on the merits. They have to actually censor and prevent people from learning the truth in order to get their viewpoint to be the mainstream one. And that's pretty sad.
All right, rapid fire, because I want everyone in on this. Apparently more speech, not less, unless you are the Muppets. Disney Plus, which is a paid service, by the way, now puts a disclaimer on before their 18-episode season of the Muppets. It says this program, quote, includes negative depictions and or mistreatment of people and cultures. So the Muppets now have an offensive content warning on Disney Plus. I don't know about you, Emerald, start with you. The Muppets moved to Manhattan. I finally moved to Manhattan. I watched that. That was my goal in life, and I made it.
I love the Muppets. I grew up watching them.
Yeah. Muppets Christmas?
Yeah,
Fozzie Bear, Amir?
Yeah, well, they are a historically oppressed group, the Muppets. So we have to be careful what we say. I don't want Newsmax getting in trouble because you said something offensive to a Muppet.
Yeah, I know. Betsy, thoughts?
That's right. Warnings are fine. Just don't remove content. Do not remove content from the airwaves or the social media platforms.
No, I thought the same thing, Stacy. I just thought that because it's a paid service, I don't know if that warning is necessary. You don't have to watch it. It's you're paying for Disney Plus.
They're puppets, you guys. They're puppets. But I
yeah.
too, right?
Well, apparently on The Simpsons, the Simpsons just had somebody, another white voiceover actor who said for their Dr. Julius Hibbert, he can't do the voice anymore because he's white and the character's not white. So.
I pointed that story out. My husband just piped in from another room. He goes, "That guy's white," and that was it. We just laughed.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. I didn't know it either. By the way, Amir, I see you as a big Simpsons fan. That doesn't surprise me at all. Amir owns all 26 seasons on DVD and Blu-ray, right behind him.
That's it. That's
right,
it. I
panel.
watch them
Thank
while
you.
I'm eating my Pop-Tarts.
We'll pick it back up at the top of the hour. Thank you, panel. Appreciate it. All right, you are watching Wake Up America right here on Newsmax. We'll be right back. Stay with us.